Hey there! Thank you for being here with me. Last few days I thought, why not to talk about how I made sound design and vintage film look in my videos. In the end of this tutorial, I'll share with you my personal vintage film pack that I made especially for you, and teach you guys how to take your videos with it to the next level. But before we start, hit like button, my dear friends, subscribe to my channel and set a notification bell on to never miss new videos by me. Now let's jump in and find out how to make video like this. I shot this project at a streetball competition which I participated in, and it was a fan video and wasn't paid. I wanted to show the true mood of every basketball player, just like Miami vibe. We'll not talk a lot about the shooting itself, I just wrote a segue and shot everything either with a gimbal or handheld. You can see here a lot of vintage movie stylization with tons of layers of film grain, dirt, scratches, burns and so on. And of course the sound design. Without it, this video would be failed. Let's take a look at the clip without sound design, just with music. Pretty good, but not enough for a meticulous editor. And now I want to show you how it sounds only with sound design, without music. As you can see, the video works in both ways, only with music and only with sound design. So why not to combine these two options and let the viewer feel the full range of emotions watching this clip? So let's figure out how I did sound design here. The main idea is to sound the ambience of the basketball court itself and to match the sound of the visual effects in this video. So don't limit yourself to just one sound in sound design. Make a kind of sandwich of the sounds that together will sound specialist and unique. Some of them will be responsible for the ambience, others for the action in the frame, and still others will enhance the musical assets. Let me show you now. Turn off the music and listen to how this part sounds only with sounds of sound design. As you can see, there are two essence in this part. The one is the moment with the b-boy flip and the second one with crossover of the hooper. We have three sounds to improve these moments. First with fade in and fade out, second with fade in and cut off, and the third with a heartbeat sound. The first one is a seed for the second. We make it clear that it isn't yet the peak of that happening and will continue after the b-boy jump. Therefore the first sound is faded out. And in the second part with crossover we make it clear that it is an important moment and the peak of emotions. So we add a heartbeat and the rising sound cuts off at the moment of the crossover and acceleration. Let's check how only this sounds. Okay, let's just say first violin in the orchestra has already played. Next, we support that's going on in the video with sounds. It's sounds of ball bounces on the court, the rustling of clothes during the jump, and screams of crowd on the side. Add them and listen with the previous sounds. Sounds quite well, and some of the editors will have stopped at this stage, but not you and me. The third stage is adding sounds to improve the visual effects that we added to the video. It's mainly the sounds of a movie projector. By collecting all these sounds in a small band, we get a great sound design in this scene. And then, following the same principle, we move through the entire clip with sound design. Let's take a look at the most interesting thing of this video, its visual style and transitions I used. Before filming this video, I knew the final style it should be, so I shot it in such a shaky and wobbly style. I shot a little on the gimbal and then completely switched to the handheld to avoid the excessive smoothness of the picture taken from gimbal, thereby approaching the style of shooting with a vintage 80mm camera. If the raw footage was filmed in a style that doesn't fit the chosen style for post-production, then the final clip will look awful and unnatural. Okay, color correction must be ready before dropping film grain on the raw footage, and it should match the colors of same of stock films. There shouldn't be any problems because the web is full of different LUTs on this style. All you need is to clear the picture by colors so that it isn't be oversaturated. Take it a little bit flat. So the base in the vintage film look styling in this clip is the combination of two layers. The first is the footage with 35mm film in overlay blending option, and the second layer is the footage with coarse film dirt and scratches with the add blending option. The second layer enhances the overall film look of the footage. In some cases, I switched to a coarser 80mm film or 35 variations with different hairs and scratches. Further, according to the principle as sound design, you need to add even more assets to the film emulation, but not too much. Therefore, through the entire clip, I dropped various peaks with most scratched and damaged film. By the way, all the same blending options: add, multiply, overlay, lighting, and so on. I chose pictures on the free website Pinterest, dropped them on the timeline and twisted and chose the best part on the texture. I decided to further enhance some of the parts with damaged film and added footage with different inscriptions and markings with previously made on the film itself. By the way, the most difficult part was the beginning of the clip, with the tearing of the film tape. It's fully handmade. I had to make each part with a film break in Photoshop, and then I added in the video. And I started the video from this moment, so that the viewer immediately understands what style of video he's about to watch. If I did it later, then at the first viewing the viewer would have a dissonance. He wouldn't have been able to visually accept these effects if he saw it later in this video. Next, I added a few parts with clip art on the transitions between frames. It speaks with old cassettes, adds turn of the wall, parts of Michelangelo art and Pink Game Boy. Moreover, each of these parts is made with a specific meaning. DJ has cassettes, although he completely plays on electronic equipment now. I decided to visualize the mood and turn to the regions through cassettes. Kids have a Game Boy while they are young, it's just a game like a part of childhood with Game Boy. Well, the part of creation by God of Adam by Michelangelo shows an already more adult attitude of basketball players to this game. For most of them, it's lifestyle and the way of life. Having done all this, I went to the most difficult and painstaking process of styling. Is the addition of the frames with film stocks and viewfinders of the various vintage cameras. These parts are not dropped randomly, and places were created for them already during the editing where they must be placed in the future. I also found pictures with viewfinders of different cameras in Pinterest and used the darken blending option in this case. Put it on the top of the main video and made the effect of the old vintage camera. Every 3 frames with characters, I left 1 frame with viewfinder footage without any blending option, plus 1 film burn layer with 45 transparency. I did the camera shake effect in a combination with the sound design. This effect worked. I even made two similar frames with a dancer and with a referee 4. Sometimes these elements are immediately visible and sometimes they are subtle but still creating a unique ambience. As a rule, it starts with either bright highlights and burns or hard film scratches or characters. This delimits the viewfinder effect from the regular video mode in a clip. This is we kind of make a distinction for the viewer. Look, this is a simple mode, but this one is super special. In such a presentation of the material, the viewer's mind adapts to this mood and begins to perceive all frames except for the viewfinders as a regular default video. Thus, the overall perception of the clip is improved. This is what we are trying to achieve. So that's how our videos are watched and reviewed again. After finishing all this project, I got that it's almost handmade, because I didn't find adequate and high-quality emulations of the old vintage film effects, with different scratches, burns and viewfinders. Everything I found looks very cheap or used by all videographers and it's shame to use it. Or it's paid and price is too high. Based on all this, I realized how difficult it is now for a creative filmmaker to create video in a similar style. This is not even a stage shooting. It's regular run-and-gun cinematography. It can be stylized in an interesting way and the client will be happy with and will order the video from you again. I made a special pack with simulations of different films and effects from the clip we go over today, so that you don't need to go through all these long stages with the choice of pictures and the selection of noises and scratches. I made for you ready-made video elements with sound design, which you can simply drag and drop on the timeline and use a suitable blending option to match in the place you need. So stylization of such a clip will take a few minutes, and with the sound design it will be easier, because most of the elements have already been sound designed. It's the first version of this pack by me to you, and I think in future it will be increased. It's totally free. Welcome to my website generousbegaf.com, link in description below. Download and use it. I hope this short tutorial of stylizing videos for an old vintage film look was interesting for you. You will share with your colleagues and ask them to subscribe this channel, the channel where we learn to make beautiful videos together. Stay creative and see you next time.